chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't know.
The prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
Number one right now. Number one. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Floyd Mayweather has broken his silence about a possible comeback set for 2026. He confirmed that his first appearance will actually happen this year in the much-talked-about exhibition against Mike Tyson. However, he stressed that bout will strictly remain an exhibition, not a pro fight. What really grabbed attention was his admission that once the Tyson match is done, he's lining up a professional return, with Terence Crawford mentioned as a potential opponent. Mayweather explained that discussions are already underway for a fully sanctioned fight, and that both he and his camp are putting in serious effort to make this return a reality.
Everything is going great. I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait for 2026.
Whenever fantasy matchups are brought up in boxing, Floyd Mayweather's name almost always comes up. Despite being retired, his shadow still looms over the sport, and the debates about how he'd fare against today's stars never seem to fade. Recently, trainer Robert Garcia weighed in on the buzz around a possible Mayweather versus Terence Crawford clash. Garcia pointed out that while Mayweather's resume is legendary, he never achieved what fighters like Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao did, capturing undisputed status. Even so, Garcia admitted that his admiration for Mayweather's skill set and aura would make him favor Floyd if such a dream fight were ever to happen.
Man, he doesn't need it anymore.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions undisputed, is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. There's still greats out there. There's still, his era or last era, with the Mayweather, with the Pacquiao. I think he's, already accomplished more than Pacquiao was 8 divisions, so we could argue there because Pacquiao was, 8 division is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5 division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more.
Robert Garcia was quick to highlight what separates Terence Crawford from the rest. Crawford has achieved something Mayweather never did, becoming undisputed by collecting every major belt in a division. Manny Pacquiao also left his mark across multiple weight classes, earning recognition as undisputed along the way. According to Garcia, this is where Mayweather's otherwise flawless record leaves a gap. Floyd retired undefeated, defeated a long list of elite names, and cemented his place as a legend, yet undisputed status slipped through his grasp. Still, Garcia doesn't see that as diminishing Mayweather's legacy. Instead, he sees it as proof of why Crawford deserves to be mentioned among boxing's most complete fighters. Even so, when pressed on a potential matchup, Garcia leaned toward Mayweather, drawing on his experience in the sport. He explained that Floyd's defense, precision, and fight IQ were simply at a level few could ever match.
I'd probably still pick Mayweather. Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
With all that said, what can you ultimately say about what occurred and what we saw Saturday night?
It was a great event, great turnout, 70,000 plus people. Gate was fucking insane from what I understand. Fucking that's good for boxing, man. Good for boxing, good for all the younger fighters. All this new things going on. I think it's gonna be a positive thing for all the younger fighters.
Adito pointed out that Floyd Mayweather's legacy can be seen in 2 distinct chapters, each iconic in its own way. First came Pretty Boy Floyd, the young, hungry warrior who attacked with blistering speed, fearless combinations, and a willingness to trade punches to prove his dominance. Later, Floyd evolved into Money Mayweather, the strategist, defensive genius and business mastermind who redefined how boxing could be marketed and sold on a global scale. According to Olau, this transformation was no accident. Floyd engineered not just a fighting style, but a brand. As Pretty Boy, he earned fans through risks and highlight reel knockouts. As Money Mayweather, he drew the world's attention with his ring IQ, psychological warfare, and unmatched ability to turn fights into massive cultural events. Together, these two personas created a legacy that goes far beyond wins and titles. Floyd wasn't only a champion inside the ropes, he was an architect who reshaped the modern boxing business model, leaving an impact that few in history can rival.
I'm sorry. He's a genius. He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom, but sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s, and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking, I watch the whole fucking episodes, and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument, oh, you should have fought that person then, and I get it. I get it, right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion is multi-weight world champion. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm gonna work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm gonna work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh shit, man, this guy's in this fighting, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had obviously the fights, right? In terms of the fights that brought all the eyeballs onto him, Oscar De La Hoya fight, you know what I mean? That Pretty Boy Floyd was like, Diego Corrales is probably the best performance really from Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Corrales, I think, was unbeaten at the time, and look what he did to him. But Money Floyd brought the eyeballs on. That's when he started being controversial. Genius outside the ring in terms of marketing, genius inside the ring in terms of defensively, offensively as well. People don't give him as much credit offensively.
Former champion Zab Judah, who once faced Floyd Mayweather in the ring, didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on today's boxing landscape. In his view, Terence Crawford is the clear standout of this generation. Judah explained that every era has its defining star, and right now, Crawford is the man carrying that torch. He even reminded fans of Canelo Alvarez's past comments, suggesting that Crawford might surpass Mayweather, noting that such praise should not be dismissed. For Judah, Crawford's resume, dominating elite opponents across multiple weight divisions, combined with his ability to adapt and remain untouched at the highest level, makes him the most complete fighter of the modern era. At the same time, Judah gave respect to Mayweather's legendary run, but stressed that this moment belongs to Crawford. He sees comparisons between eras as inevitable, yet believes the focus should be on recognizing Crawford as today's #1 fighter.
Right now, #1, this is his generation, this is his timeline, he is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What did you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You like to see a rematch?
Not a rematch. Rematches always sound good. But in a rematch, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so.
Boxing analyst Breadman Edwards offered a very different perspective on the Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford debate. Rather than fueling the fantasy matchup, Edwards dismissed the idea entirely, calling it unnecessary and misplaced. In his view, Crawford should be allowed to fully enjoy his current moment at the top without being constantly compared to legends of the past. Edwards even suggested that if Mayweather truly wanted another crossover-style spectacle, a clash with Roy Jones Jr. would make far more sense. The names alone, he argued, would spark massive curiosity and intrigue among fans. For Edwards, Crawford's prime years should be about celebrating his ongoing dominance and historic accomplishments, not about forcing him into hypothetical battles with retired greats. He believes constantly tying Bud's name to Mayweather undermines the significance of what Crawford is doing right now. Instead, boxing should let Crawford stand on his own as the defining figure of this era,
see, never gonna get this fight, unfortunately. You know, just two different generations. And I'm not necessarily asking you who would win, but if Floyd and Crawford were to cross paths prime for prime, would you just put that as a, yeah, that's 50-50, man, I don't know? Or are you just like, I might still give the edge to Floyd?
You know, man, I don't really want to compare them right now, Hans, if we seeing everything that's going on with Floyd and Roy. You know what I mean? And, you know, they competitive guys. Next thing you know, Bud and Floyd will be mad at each other, man, and wanting to fight because people is like putting them against each other. Let's just enjoy the moment. I don't know. It's a close fight. You know, it's things Floyd do better. It's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, because I'm not going to just lie and just say nothing, like, and make up something just to, I got my opinion on, you know, how the fights will go, and, you know, but I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with Floyd and Roy. They two guys that a lot of the younger guys look up to, and they taking shots at each other in the media because of the who's better and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I just want to see Bud enjoy his moment. And, you know, unfortunately, they didn't fight. You know, they could have made, they kind of two different eras, though. Even though they was fighting at the same time, Floyd kind of was doing his different thing over there with PBC, and Bud's a lot young, about 10 years younger than him. So it didn't happen, and we got to just live with it. You know what I mean?
Former champion Shawn Porter gave his take on the surprising announcement of Floyd Mayweather facing Mike Tyson, and he didn't hold back. Porter said the matchup feels less like a professional bout and more like a street fight waiting to happen. According to him, the tension between Floyd and Mike runs deep, fueled by years of personal resentment. Because of that history, Porter doubts any athletic commission would sanction the fight as a legitimate contest. He believes the animosity could turn things unpredictable, pushing it beyond pure boxing and into chaos. While the event would surely attract attention, Porter questioned whether the spectacle would damage the integrity of the sport. He isn't alone either. Other analysts have also criticized the trend of exhibition matches involving big names like Floyd, Tyson, and Jake Paul. Their argument? These events are driven more by celebrity appeal than true competition inside the ring.
Don't see this one coming unless you know the history of these two guys.
Yeah, they don't like each other too much, do they, Shawn?
When you look at the history, it's kind of like, it makes sense for a street fight. It doesn't make sense for like a in-the-ring situation. And so it's kind of like, I guess for the sake of words, crazier things have happened. And then now you have to say, well, no, it doesn't get crazier than this.
You're not kidding, right? You know, obviously we watched Mike Shawn in November against Jake Paul. I think clearly those guys like each other. Floyd and Mike, not so much. Obviously there's been some tension there over the years. Do you think they go in there despite the fact that this is an exhibition fight? I mean, do they go in there and do they both try and take each other out?
I don't know what that fight looks like. And, you know, that kind of was my biggest apprehension with coming on with you guys today. It was like, how do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show, we already know, like, we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable. But it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring, you know? It wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that. I mean, I guess I'll have to do what I did once before with Mike and Jake, and I'm gonna go on record for saying this doesn't happen.
Falls apart sometime before.
This doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know how you can make it make sense. I don't know how you can make this one make sense.
And to your point, they may have it, but if they have it, they haven't said it yet. There's no date for the fight, no location that's been announced. So,
right.
Critics have noted that even Jake Paul's high-profile exhibitions often fail to deliver lasting excitement for fans, raising the question of why boxing keeps leaning on retired legends instead of spotlighting its current stars. To many observers, this trend reflects a deeper problem. Today's generation of fighters hasn't fully captured mainstream attention. Some analysts warn that if the sport continues down this path, it risks becoming overly dependent on nostalgia, drifting further away from its foundation of genuine competitive matchups.
Stuff like this, no, I didn't like the Jake-Mike fight. I told you guys that. I didn't think Mike should have been fighting then. I don't think he should be fighting now. I don't like The fact that Jake and Gervonta are fighting when Gervonta is a sitting champion, at least these two are retired. But this is an indication, and I've said this over and over, of where boxing is. That this will probably have a ton of intrigue, but it's almost like the WWE rolling out Stone Cold Steve Austin or rest in peace Hulk Hogan whenever they need a big time pop and whenever they need to get the crowd energized because their current stars just aren't hitting the same. This is what boxing feels like right now. Boxing feels like Antiques Roadshow. Honestly, this kind of stuff, that's what it feels like. And again, it's the spectacle, it's the entertainment value, and it is the era of the unpredictable, as Mike says there, but it's not good. I can tell you that, it is not good. This is why we need people like Turkey Al-Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, hell, Dana White to come into boxing and fix this shit, because stuff like this, and Jake and Gervonta, is kind of the norm now. Mike says, I still can't believe Floyd really wants to do this. He added, it's going to be detrimental to his health, but he wants to do it, so it's signed and it's happening. It's not even believable to hear Mike talk like that now. Because yes, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but we saw Mike struggle to walk into the ring versus Jake. And yeah, Mike dangerous enough for Jake not engage with him, but Jake not engaging with him just circled and jabbed his way to the ending of an exhibition where both guys get their hand raised, and we all, yeah, that wasn't a fight because clearly Mike is not the same, and clearly Jake did not want to take that extra step to try to actually put him away.
Joe Rogan weighed in by highlighting the personal tension between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson. He claimed that Floyd has carried a dislike for Tyson since their early days, and that animosity could completely change the tone if they ever shared a ring. Rogan suggested that Mayweather might abandon his trademark defensive style and instead chase a knockout to settle old scores. While Floyd hasn't been known for knockout finishes in the latter half of his career, Rogan pointed out that raw emotion can push fighters to act differently. That possibility, Floyd throwing caution aside to make a statement against Tyson, is what makes the matchup so fascinating, even if the fight itself remains a long shot.
So they're not trying to knock each other out?
No, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather don't like each other. They have not liked each other forever.
Tyson and Mayweather?
Yes.
But they like
Mike Tyson and Mayweather don't like each other.
Huh.
If there's a fight that might be real, like where Mike Tyson might say, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out, or I'm going to try to knock this motherfucker out.
It would be Floyd? They wouldn't fight.
Yeah, because if you look at like the Jake Paul fight, no disrespect, and if you look at the Roy Jones fight, no disrespect.
Yeah.
They look like they were sparring.
Yeah.
Right? It looked like there was agreements made.
Yeah.
I do not know if Mike would honor any of those agreements.
Really?
If there was a moment
They've
to
had
crack.
beef for years.
Yeah. If there was a moment to really, could he hit him? I mean, that little motherfucker can move still at 50 years old. Yeah. He's so slick.
Yep.
He's still in shape. He's still fit.
They're both old as fuck.
Old as fuck.
But this is the boxing.
How old is Mayweather?
67.
Dude, Bernard
49?
Hopkins
49.
was still at the best in the world at 50.
Yep.
I mean, that's incredible.
That doesn't mean shit, though, with this. Because he
Kentucky's
was
got-
active fighting contenders.
Kentucky's got Gomez on the ground.
You're talking about two retired guys.
Yeah.
Fighting the
That's
exhibition.
It's just money grabs.
It's
just,
so weird,
Yeah,
though.
it is weird. It's money grabs. I don't like it, but it's fun. You know, it's something to watch.
I'll hate on it, but I'll tune in.
Yeah, I'll tune in. It's, you know, but it's not really fighting.
So Jake Paul's not going to actually be trying to knock out Gervonta Davis. You know?
There's a reason it says exhibition.
If I had a guess. Yeah. The event itself would be a world-class venue and be presented to a global audience with new in-ring technology elements that will reshape how boxing is presented and scoring is achieved for years to come. What does that mean?
That shit has Abu Dhabi written all over
What does that mean? This is Tyson versus Mayweather. What does that mean? Where are they doing that? Are they doing that in Saudi Arabia?
But of course. Because they have all the money.
My friend.
And they just go, what do
Yeah.
you want to see? I'd always like to see Floyd Tyson.
Who wants to fight an alligator?
Ariel Helwani wrapped things up with a grounded perspective, noting that a Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson showdown is highly unlikely to ever be sanctioned as a legitimate bout. Instead, he argued that most people in the industry see it for what it is, an exhibition built for spectacle and money. More importantly, Helwani suggested that the Tyson fight could simply serve as a tune-up, paving the way for Floyd's next serious step, a potential professional clash with Terence Crawford. By labeling the Tyson matchup as little more than a sideshow, Helwani shifted the conversation toward the bigger picture, the possibility of Mayweather actually returning to official competition. In his view, the exhibition is just a temporary headline generator, while real negotiations for Crawford continue behind the scenes.
And Mayweather has been out of the spotlight for a lot longer now. I don't think there's interest in it.
Does it happen, GC?
No.
No.
Which has more of a chance of happening, Connor? White House card or
the White House card seems to be happening. I got to eat my crow on that one.
Yeah.
It's tough. Tyson, Floyd.
No chance.
Also, even if it does happen, it's just like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's not them at their highest level. It's an exhibition. Everybody will clown on it when it eventually does happen.
There is a way that exhibitions can be fun. Tyson versus Roy Jones was actually like the best version of that, right? An exhibition that like I thought was exciting, delivered for the fans, but also that was so long ago for Mike Tyson. The version that we saw
like
against
early 50s.
Yeah, the version that we saw against Jake Paul just can't
Against
do it
the
anymore.
guy around his size, too. Floyd Mayweather is not that.
Roy's pretty small, but
So
no, not as small as Floyd though.
Yeah, Roy fought at heavyweight at one time.
Yeah, Floyd is very small.
Mike Roy was super interesting. It was in the, very kind of early stages of the pandemic.
Yeah.
8 months in, but we were still kind of dark and depressed at that point. And like Tyson hadn't fought, it was nostalgic. It was Roy. Okay, so I got the appeal. I got the appeal of Jake because he was so much younger and he's, a novice compared to Tyson. I don't know. Okay, now what's the appeal here? You know what I mean? What's the hook?
Two of the greatest boxers ever to fight each other.
Just, I feel like we just saw that with Tyson and Roy. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the same hook.
I feel like Tyson and Roy didn't have the same, like, vast reach that
was a
Jake
big deal.
Paul versus...
That's all for today's breakdown. Make sure to stay tuned for the next update, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.